Hello. Hi,
Jesus.
Natalie.
Jesus, I need help with some scannable documents.
Let's do it. That's all I did. I forged
Hi, guys.
15 countries.
Chad and
Product that I forged
Amy,
over a
you guys look like you're getting some nice sunshine outside.
Hi, guys.
My mic's not working.
Patrick.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, we did that on purpose. Shane's mic's not working. We did that on purpose.
There you go. A little loud.
dang it.
Little loud. Little loud.
No.
Lighten it down.
Dang.
Lighten it down a little lower. Hi, everybody.
Natalie, bring the heat.
Did you bring tacos, Shane?
I did. Yeah, go eat.
No. I just was wondering.
Yeah, I brought tacos. Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday every
Matt,
Tuesday
well,
over here.
Chuck, two Matts actually. Matt D.
Patrick
Matt M.
B. Chad and Amy.
Yeah, Patrick B.
Hi, guys.
Chad and Amy won the. I'm sending them out a bottle. They won the little thing. I'll send them out. And there's like 5 or 6 others. They won the contest. I'm going to send out.
Oh, nice.
Pretty exciting, yeah.
People won the contest.
Yeah.
So,
Did you tan? Did you tan?
No, I did not.
yeah, he's been tanning at his
Yeah,
new
dude.
gym.
You're so, like, something's off.
Something's
He's-
on, you mean? Stop it.
Bro,
Stop
you've
it.
been
So
tanning a lot. I can
what's
tell.
going
You're
on?
dark,
Bro,
bro.
I haven't tanned in the last couple days.
A lot.
Oh,
how much?
Matt just asked about the contest. Basically, it's not really a contest. But,
It's a
Shane
bribe.
is a bribe.
It's a full bribe.
Full bribe.
Shane is bribing people to watch his vlog.
Yeah, I'm just giving away.
I'm dead. Chuck just said you're spray tan.
No, I can't. Bro, I would spray tan, but I'm too hairy. Have you not seen me in my
Yeah.
thong? I'm too
Ew.
hairy.
Dude, hey, we've got a group of ladies
I'm just
on
saying,
that
Chuck's
are
seen me
Get
in
it
my
together.
outfit.
incarcerated
Chuck-
right now.
Oh, I'm
Why
sorry,
does it
girls,
say K
ladies.
Slayer though?
They would see that. They liked it. They're
Huh?
smiling.
They ain't smiling. They didn't want to see
No,
you.
they're
in
like
your
doing
little-
the nice laugh. Like,
Yeah,
they
it's
feel
like-
bad
Sorry,
for
I'm
you.
sorry. They're in jail. Okay, they're gonna get what they can get. That's how I would feel.
No way.
Whoa. You are
I
like,
was teasing.
Hi,
Come on.
ladies.
Hi,
Hi,
guys.
ladies.
Hi.
Welcome to the
excuse our
Canadian friend.
yeah.
welcome to the show. This is the point in the show where I let everybody know that one, it's a disclaimer.
vlog.
Shane does not represent the Hopeaholics as a whole, and two, he is from Canada,
Yeah.
so
Please forgive him.
please forgive him
Show him some
as he doesn't know American
Culture.
Yeah.
Matt M. It was in the my vlog, bro. Are you not remember my vlog? Do you not follow me on the vlog? Let's go.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Natalie?
Shane bribed
Yeah, I
people
bribed
like
people.
$500 or something like that
Yeah.
in giveaways
Yeah.
for if you watch his vlog all the way from beginning to end.
Yeah. Don't have to watch it to the end, like
That's
the first 3 minutes.
definitely Canadian. So, welcome to the shit show, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to the shit show. We were literally working all the way up until like 2 minutes before, because I was expecting Shane to show up with tacos
I brought them. They're out
and
there.
be on time.
They're out there.
So I didn't realize that it was almost 6 o'clock, and Catherine came in. Catherine is the lady that, if you guys ever hear us call our manager,
Kitty cat.
she's not really our manager.
Cat.
She's actually the
CO
COO of the Infinity Group.
keeps us actually on.
Keeps us all
Fast.
in line.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, welcome. We got an incredible guest tonight. He actually is a Hopeaholic. He did
Yes.
a full podcast with us already. But before I introduce him, I want to remind everybody why we do this show. And we do this show to offer hope. Hope to people that are still suffering. It started because I lost my son-in-law on 9/11 of 2022 to the fentanyl crisis. And it lit a fire inside of me to help people that are suffering. And, to bring awareness to not just fentanyl, but to the stigma and breaking that stigma. Because it's okay to ask for help.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to waste any more time because I want Damon to get into his story and get right rocking and rolling into this meeting. And I got to go on live because I forgot to go on live earlier and remind everybody to come on to the show. So I'm going to go on live while Damon is sharing, man. You're up, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. So my name's, excuse me. So my name's Damon. I'm an addict. I want to start off by saying I'm grateful to be clean, grateful to be sober, grateful to be blessed to be part of this this thing you got going on, this awareness, grateful to be in this seat, and thank you for what you do, thank you for what you've done and what you guys do. And it is about the awareness, it's about having that fire, and I was thinking about that on the way up, for in recovery, when that light turns on, we finally can figure out what our purpose is and what our drive is, and it's simple to to carry that message. And so thank you guys for carrying that message. So what it was like for me, growing up for me was a lot of, like I shared before on the podcast, was that trauma, and things that were passed down from generation to generation. And I remember being a little kid, and I was really attached to my grandpa, and he would disappear out of nowhere. He would just disappear, and when he would come back home, he would wake me up in the morning to, get me ready for school. And sometimes I would walk in on him in the bathroom, and he'd be sitting on the toilet, and he would shut the door. And I remember also, like, because I was a nosy little kid, because I was attached to him, so I'd be in his drawers, and I'd find like weed pipes and syringes, and this car would pull up, and everybody would be in the front yard, and this car would pull up, and my grandpa would walk up to the car, and the car would take off. And I remember sitting behind him on his bed, and he would be cleaning his arm, with bandages and his stomach. And come to find out, years later, I think I was like my first time going to rehab, or after rehab, we were talking, and come to find out, he was an addict. He was an addict, and he was a heroin addict, and all those bandages and those cuts were from having, I guess, what's it called, abscess?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, having that, and that was also within his family, his brothers and all that, and my mom's an addict. She's an alcoholic, so the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, and so when I got introduced to weed, weed was how it all started for me. Weed was the gateway drug they talked about, and I was never in school to hear that, or when I would hear it, I would just say, yeah, whatever, it's just weed, But after working the steps, that's when all the patterns started for me. The getting, using, and finding ways and means for more. And I remember back then, weed was just weed. It wasn't all laced up. It wasn't in the shops. It looked like tumbleweeds in the middle of the road, yeah. All stems and seeds. And I remember getting caught with my first ounce of weed, and my mom was chewing me out, screaming at me, this and that. You got to go have the talk with your uncle. And, instead of my mom like throwing it away or making me flush it or step on it, she gave it to my stepfather, and I had to go talk to my uncle, and my uncle was trying to lecture me about this and that and about weed and don't do what I did. And just, I remember him telling me, just wait till you're 16, wait till you're 16 years old. And at that time I was 12, and I was like, okay, sure. You said 16, that's what I'm going to do. And by 14, 15, we're smoking weed together, But growing up again, that's what I seen: alcohol, the abuse, the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse, the neglect, and at a very, very early age, it was about wanting to feel that validation, wanting to feel that love, wanting to fit in like everybody else. My friends had, the 2-story house. They had the nice BMX bikes. I had an old GT bike, and I just wanted to fit in like them. And what they had was something I didn't have, which was having 2 parents. And so I grew up a lot wanting to fit in, and the steps helped me realize that I'm always trying to fill my insides with something from the outside, you know, and now it's whether it's shopping, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
my new addiction is Dixon, the new Dixon shirt that came out, or the new Solon hat that came out,
Yeah.
or trying to fill my insides, you know, doing something from the outside. But again, you know, sitting with the sponsor that I trust, looking at my patterns, that's how I've been my entire life, you know, looking for something. And whether it's, you know, hanging out with friends or, you know, the older homies or whatever, like I was always looking for something and trying to fill that gap. And but I think 17, it took off. My addiction took off, and by 18, I was full blown strung out on meth, and nothing stopped me. You know, nothing stopped me at all. It didn't matter how many times I told my son, you know, I was going to rehab. I'd be home in a month, or Daddy's coming home. You know, nothing stopped me. You know, not the CPS case, none of that stopped me. You know, and it's scary, you know, to look back at that, like, or to look at it today, like, you know, we all have to hit that bottom, you know, and everybody's bottom is different, and we all know it's jails, institutions, and death, you know. And I heard this in treatment that you know, drugs and alcohol, they're cunning, baffling, and they're also patient, you know. They're just sitting there waiting
Yeah.
for us, you know. It's waiting right outside for me. And but you know, this disease, it's alive and well. And right now, you know, what it's like right now for me is I'm gonna just be honest, is I'm struggling right now. You know, my character defect, I'm out of balance right now. I'm out of harmony right now. And I'm not gonna sit here and blame, you know, it's my kids, the way they act. It's the arguments with my wife. It's me and how I react to those things. And right now, you know, last week, actually, I was, you know, when the pain's great enough, that's when we want to reach out for help, right? That's when we want to hit our knees, or that's when we want to call our sponsor, or work the steps, you know. And excuse me, I had called my sponsor last week, and I said, hey man, like, I'm going through it right now. And I let him know how I felt. Like, honestly, like, I told him, like, I just want to run. I want to say F this. I don't want to deal with my kids. I don't spank my kids, you know. And I said, I just want to spank them. Like, I want to go off right now. And I just want to say F this and take off, you know. And he goes, well, you can't do that because you live in spiritual principles. You know, you live in you work a spiritual program. And I said, well, right now, nothing's working. Like, my prayers aren't working. Like, I'm smudging off like crazy. Nothing's working right now, man. And it's because I'm not allowing it to. You know, I'm not allowing my higher power to take over. And so I've been constantly, like, trying to control things, like control everything, and I can't control it, and it's pissing me off even more. And you know, last Monday I lost my stepfather. This man raised me like I was his own. In fact, he took in me and my two sisters, and then later on had two kids, and we lost him. And the last time I lost somebody close like that was my own father, and I went on a rampage. I shared that last time I was here. You know, I went to what they call depression, and I'm in depression, or I'm depressed. I go manic, you know, and now I'm like, oh, do I need to get back on meds? Like, what do I do? You know, trying to chase something again. And then I notice, and that's what I love about recovery, is that you get to find out your patterns and you get to hold yourself accountable. So I realized that, man, like, I have not been in a meeting of recovery. You know, like, I've been getting on Zoom, and I do a lot of AA Zoom meetings, and I found a cool little group out in San Diego, and I will get on the meeting, and, like, instead of going and putting my AirPods in so I can hear, like, my kids are going crazy or whatever, or I'm just, oh, okay, well, I can't listen, so I'm gonna get off the meeting, and I log off. And I used to do that a lot. And when I'd go to a meeting and I was going through some stuff, I would leave 5 minutes before the miracle happened, you know. And I remember doing that 3 weeks in a row, and somebody called me out. This man said, hey man, he texted me, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I told him, I'm just going through it, you know. And I've noticed that I have not been in a full meeting, you know. Life's been happening, but still, like, I know what time the meetings are, you know, I know where they're at, and I know that if I just let my wife know, hey, I'm going to go to a meeting, you know, and I haven't been doing that. And I've been staying in prayer, But again, like I'm asking my higher power to take my will in my life, but yet I take it right back. And we all know what our own will is for us. You know what I mean? I know for me, like my sponsor says, you know, my will is SWAT team on site and CPS is at my house, like, you know, and then it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that, you know. You know, even if I'm not using meth, like my will is going to be I'm at the casino. You know, I'm at the casino or I'm trying to gamble or whatever, you know, and it's just no bueno. And I've been, it's been rough. It's been rough, you know, and I want to share that because sharing that is healing for me. You know, it's healing. And so also I've been doing something that's crazy is I've been talking myself out of these things. Like, oh, well, maybe tomorrow I'll read it just for a day and it'll click to me and I'll apply that to my life and it'll be okay. Nope. I go back to taking my will and it's just like, God, you know. After my stepfather just passed, I told my wife and I said, I'm going to take some time off and, you know, I'm gonna gather myself and I'm gonna be with the family, you know, and we were supposed to have a baby shower and of course, you know, that got put on hold and it's going to work out just great because that's my plan. That's my plan. My plan is to take time off and it's going to be great. But nope, we got back from a good camping trip on the beach and came home and my baby's sick. He's sick as hell. The other one's sick as hell. And so rather than me just taking time to rest and gather myself, like I'm dealing with that, you know, and so it's like, again, you know, that's what God's plan was, you know. But man, you know, other than that, you know, this thing of recovery, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's so beautiful, you know. And I was in my head thinking about what am I going to talk about? You know, what are we going to talk about? And the Just for Today was talking about happiness. And I think the first couple lines it was saying, if I asked you if you're happy, you know, or what are you going to say? Well, yeah, the dishes are done, the car's paid, you know, and yada yada yada. And some of that it's not really happiness, you know. And it said what happiness is when we get to carry the message, you know. And that's what it is for me, you know. I struggle with a lot of like guilt, and you know, I'm what I'm doing isn't enough, what I'm doing isn't right, or where are my motives at, you know. And I struggle with that, you know. And just last week I was at the gym finally, and this older gentleman I know, we were just talking, and he goes, "Hey man, you know, we're talking about you up here on the res. You know, we're talking about, you know, we see what you're doing. You're putting us on the map, like you're doing it." And I thought he was talking about the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, you seen it?" And I don't think you heard me, but he goes, "No, we know what you're doing up here, man." Like he goes, and he told me something. He goes, "I can't wait for you to run for tribal council." And the next day, me and my sons went on our first fishing trip. And my older son goes, "Well, when are you going to run for council?" And that there it was, you know, my higher power talking, you know, and that made me feel really good, like inside, you know, it made me feel really good. And when I, you know, after watching your guys' show and being on this meeting, hearing you say that, like how you started off, you know, that it's unfortunate that it takes things like this to happen, but for us to bring that awareness, to carry that message. You know, and what you're doing is what you guys are doing is so powerful. It's so powerful, you know, and I feed off of that because that's how I'm trying to carry the message back home. You know, we just had our second suicide and opiate resiliency conference we put on, and as I was looking around that conference at the casino, I'm looking around, and it clicked to me like, wow, like this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly what my higher power plan is for me, you know. And I trip on that because it's like my uncle that we helped put on, this man did 30 years in prison, you know, and we both came from addiction, you know, and it's like to look around and be like, wow, this is what we get to do for the people, you know. And you know, that conference this time was about resiliency, about what are we doing today to get us through the trauma, through the struggle, through our addiction, man. And you know, for me, there was a gentleman that shared at this meeting in front of everybody at that conference, and he shared about something so powerful about him being molested when he was a child, and he shared that in front of, I mean, 100 people, men and women. And he shared about how he witnessed something happen, and he went and he did what he had to do to save somebody, And when I heard that, it was like, that's the stuff that I admire and look into in recovery, that raw, like, truth stuff, And I love that kind of stuff because you never know who's in the audience or who's listening, and that's going to help them open up, And so I'm so glad that I'm here and you guys have this platform, for allowing us to come up here and share or be on the meeting and share. Because I've heard things like that on this meeting, and I was like, wow, like this is exactly where it's at, So I thank you guys for what you do, and so like my sobriety date is July 21st, 2015, and God, since then, how many the things that I've got to walk through in recovery and see in recovery, and how and just how I've got through them with just the basics, and so it's funny because the other day I was thinking about, okay, well, maybe if I just go to the next sweat lodge, like it'll be the one I can work on and get everything out, like maybe the next one I'll hear. And it's like, no, it's so simple. Like when I talked to my sponsor, he goes, well, when's the last time you've been to a meeting?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. And I sat there, and then he goes, well, have you been doing the 7-step on a regular basis? And I said, well,
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you haven't been. He goes, have you done the 7-step on a regular basis? And I said, no. And he goes, okay. And I'm telling him, I want to kill my kids.
Yeah.
I want to do this. I want to do that. He goes, you're not going to do any of that because you're a spiritual man. You live by spiritual principles. Have you applied any spiritual principles to what's going on in your life right now? And I said, no. No. He goes, okay, well, make the time, work on your step, and you get back to me. I said, okay. Basics, just the basics, and that's where it's at, and I forget about that. And what I think what I'm doing right now is I'm relying on my morals, I'm relying on self-will, and it's no good, and so, but sitting out there, and I read that just for today, and there it was, my house, my mortgage is paid, my car payments are paid, whatever, that's part of life. That's part of being in recovery. But am I actually happy right now? And I'm here. I get to carry the message, just like the person that just like these people, just like you guys are carrying the message. And when I leave here, man, I'm gonna feel a lot better. So thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming and sharing and being vulnerable. What I really enjoyed about your share as you were talking is that you were being real and authentic
And honest.
and
of
honest
where you're currently
about
at.
where you're currently at, because that's how we get through that stuff. By talking about it, by being vulnerable. And I bet you there's somebody on this meeting right now that's going through the same thing,
I love it because it's just so true. It's literally like, that's the thing, is like, just because we get sober, it's not like everything's going to be like peaches and keen.
Exactly.
It's like, life is life, and we're going to go through trials and tribulations. And I was kind of reflecting on what you said, because it kind of same scenario happened to myself, where it's kind of funny now looking back, because you call your sponsor and you're just like miserable, right? Like just out of sorts. And then it's like, well, so how's your program? Like, have you gone to a meeting? Have you raised your hand? Have you shared? And I'm like, no. I'm like not doing any of the basic things. Here I am wanting to like shove pills down my throat to like feel better. It's like, well, you're not even doing the basic things that are suggested. How about we start there first?
Yeah. Sometimes I think, because, at work, part of what I do, I have a well variety meeting every Wednesday, talking
nice.
circle
Yeah.
every Wednesday. It's like, no, but what am I actually doing for myself?
Right.
Have I sat with my
Right.
sponsor?
Yeah.
Have I done these
Yes.
basic things? Like, and then I get cocky. It's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
not mixing my work with my recovery.
Right.
No. But it's like, whoa, I actually gotta like take some time and look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
But again, like I shared, like back on that pattern where like you're leaving 5 minutes before the
Totally.
miracle happens.
And you start doing little like shortcuts because life is
Yeah.
starting to come back and become fulfilled. And so it's wild, or at least my brain all of a sudden wants to put the one thing that brought it to me on the back burner, when it's like you can't do that, or else you'll live in kind of that misery space, which is never any good. And I love how you said the patience thing. That's awesome, because no matter what, it's waiting for me. It's waiting for me to dip. It's waiting for me to have those like self-doubts or whatever little thoughts that creep on, so it can snatch me right back to where I was.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like so important to stay diligent on like today.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so awesome you guys have the women that are in the
Oh yeah, it's
that's
C
awesome.
Isn't it
C-
CSR? Or?
CSC program.
Or
CSC, am I right, guys? Case layer. Yes. Nice. Yeah, I mean it's actually really cool because the girls come, the men come.
Yeah, it's really cool.
They have like they're incarcerated right now, but they're like doing the deal.
Yeah.
Because like California is a big, huge revolving door, right? Yes, we do have programs in there now, right? But you have to raise your hand to go.
Yeah.
And and in California, man, you get made fun of if you go to those programs when you're doing time. But like that's how it should be. It should literally be mandatory. Like you're incarcerated. Let's get better. So we don't have to come back.
Yeah.
You know what's so cool? Oh man, this youth facility I go and take a wild variety to and do some culture stuff with. It's a youth facility called Desert Sage. I believe they got a studio for the kids in there, and they go and they make music.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Like that'd be so like I was thinking about like man, that'd be so awesome to take something like that to the people in prison.
Oh, I
'cause
know,
you got
right?
a lot of
Oh, totally.
missed talent, you know what I mean, lost talent
Yeah.
in there, and
Oh yeah.
that'd be
Dropping
awesome.
bars up in there.
yeah, but that's again, that's how we carry the
I'm-
message, you know.
Yep, we got to carry the message because my message to the ladies that are sitting in there right now, man, my recovery started in the same place. And thank God
Yeah.
that my God sent his angels in the form of the Orange County Sheriff's Department
Right.
because they rescued me. And I talk about that a lot now because I couldn't do it on my own. And God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. And I have been to multiple detox centers and I left every single one of them. Well, guess what? When the handcuffs went on and that door closed behind me at the Orange County's finest, I couldn't leave.
Yeah.
I had to
yeah.
detox.
And that's-
I call it the best detox center around because you can't ACA from it.
Right.
It's not always the most comfortable detox, but
Right.
hey,
It's what you asked for, though.
it's what you asked for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, we got a lot of hands raised, including the ladies. So I'm super excited. I thought Jesse was hiding because he didn't have a shirt on because he was all down low like that. But he does, Shane. He has a shirt on. He popped up. All right, Jesse. We got Joey Ball up first, though. Shred 6.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Hey, Joey.
Amazing.
Good. Damon, thank you for being on here, man. Thanks for coming on and sharing. And I mean, I raised my hand about 5 minutes in just because you said the realest shit on here. And most people when they do a speaker meeting, not to say anybody that's on here has done it before, but everybody just tries to share how good they did it or how great they're feeling now. But you coming out and saying that you feel like you're feeling like ass right now, you're going through it. I totally get you. I can relate. I hit my second round of 5 months last week and was feeling terrible, dude. Like there's no understanding. There was no reasoning behind it, but it was just one of those days, one of those weeks, really. And, I was reaching out, no answers coming back. And that's just how it goes sometimes, And one of the reasons why after 2 years of sobriety, I left is because of people being fake in the program and using the program and twisting God's will and God's word and being pessimistic and narcissistic and just the whole, like exactly the epitome of what this program is not all about. And I just want to say thanks for you coming on and within just right off the rip, being real and really, giving your all with it and showing who you are and what you've been through, man. Thank you. And that kind of reiterates just a point I wanted to make even before you shared, was how important this meeting is to me, because the local meetings right where I'm at right now, it's like me being able to come to these Zoom meetings is so important, because it's getting like north and south and like or north versus south, and like just a crazy negative environment that doesn't belong in our program of recovery at all, So I just want to say thanks to the trio that puts on the Hopeaholics, and then of course all the guest speakers that come on. That's all I got.
Yes, I'm shouting out the Nem house apparently is on right now. I just got the word. I mean, they're obviously not going to turn on their video, but
Where are they?
they're not going to turn on the video. But I just wanted to show the house some love.
Are they the Motorola Razor?
Probably.
Somebody's got a Motorola Razor
for sure.
Plus 2023.
I like it. Oh, you know what I was going to say, which is our secrets keep us sick, because it was like, the honesty is imperative of the program, and so you being able to share exactly where you're at this particular moment, I think is everything.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Are you just showing me myself?
Show off with your little click.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Show off.
Yeah, all of a sudden it feels extra.
They're all jealous because I'm online right now.
What's that?
And watch this, guys. See Shane?
What is this?
There's Shane, guys. Say hi to Shane.
Hey guys.
Jesse, you're up. Let's unmute him.
What's that?
We're all gonna have to buy one.
No.
Sorry, writing it down, but oh my God, that was some good shit, because let me tell you what, I'm going through the exact same thing right now. Like, I just took today off of work because I needed a mental health day, drove to the mountains and sat there alone praying. Because, like, man, let me tell you, my son, he's my copy, okay? And that scares the shit out of me, because he's a little asshole. I love the shit out of him. He's the best blessing in my life.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, am I getting a look at what my mom had to deal with. Holy shit. And, like, God, I had to write some stuff down, because what did you say? You said struggling with motivation, with motives. Dude, I was just praying about that today. Like, I need to check my motives, because I have a lot of aspirations, but at the same time, I know one of my character defects is like searching for external validation. Like, I want everyone to like me. I want everyone to see me. I want to be the center of attention. So I have to make sure that when I want to help people, it's to help them, not to get attention. And, when you were talking, I wrote this down, like, sobriety isn't a destination where everything gets good. It's just like a starting point to where everything gets easier. And maybe it's not easier. We just become mentally stronger to deal with this shit, right? Because we're still going to go through this shit, like, all the time. I go through highs and lows. And it's funny, there's a pattern that's pretty similar to yours. When I'm going through a low spot, when have I been to a meeting and in person? Because for me, that makes a big difference. I can go to Zoom meetings for a long time and it'll hold me off. But yeah, and like, when was the last time I was of service? All the things that the sponsors ask that I know they're gonna ask, so I don't call them, and then I finally fucking call them, and lo and behold, it's like, well, yeah, I haven't been doing the shit that has got me here, so that's why I feel sick. And Natalie, I love what you said, because I have heard that so much lately. Hold on, buddy. Secrets keep you sick. Secrets keep you sick. Let me give you a little debriefing of my story. I hid everything from everyone. Hold on, stand back. Sorry. I hid everything from everyone for my entire life. Family didn't know. I was with my wife for 3 years doing heroin behind her. Don't touch that. That's hot.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
Makes him
the
want to
joys
touch
of
it.
a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Um, I was doing heroin behind my wife's back for 3 years. She had no idea. So those secrets kept me so fucking sick for so long. And it really makes me take a look at my life now where any little lie, I can't live with myself. I have to out myself like all the fucking time. This morning, I text my work and I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling good, not gonna show up, and leave it at that. And it just kept eating at me and eating at me. Like, why didn't you just tell him the truth? You need a mental health day. Why didn't you tell him the truth? So I fucking called him to get it off my chest. Like, secrets do keep us sick. And the funny thing is, when I told him that, he was super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in the construction industry. I'm an iron worker. They don't fucking know anything about feelings. And he was supportive. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, thank you for your share. I I needed this more than you might know. So yeah, dude, I'm all like shaky and like wound up and like about to cry, but trying to hold it back.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for being so raw and real.
We love you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse.
Yeah.
I that just like what you just ended with at the very end, man. I can't lie anymore either. And it reminded me. Remember the other day that lady came in and reminded us about that time I told that big lie at the gym.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
You know what I'm
this?
thinking about?
Yeah,
Copper?
the
Yeah.
guy. Well, the guy came up to me and he had saw one of my
Yeah, thank you for your
one of my
service.
posts and
Mm-hmm.
he thought that I was a CIA agent. He didn't hear the whole post, and
Like he was in psychosis. He's no CIA agent. He didn't hear that
He
part.
could have been. We're not sure.
No, bro.
Bro, we don't
Don't
know.
put it out
long
there.
story short, I got caught up in the moment.
Yeah, so Chad goes like this. The
You're
guy
welcome.
says, "Thank you for your service," and Chad goes, "You're welcome."
So I walked away, leading this guy on to believe that I actually worked
Yeah.
in the CIA, and left the gym.
But
And I
it
felt
did not-
so
yeah.
terrible, like so terrible,
Yeah.
you guys. Immediately, I had to go confess to my wife, and then my second phone call was
And
to
to us.
Natalie and Shane, and
We're like, "Well, sorry, bro. Guess what? You're
We
gonna have
made-
to
I
sit
think-
up and go."
Yeah, we made
tell
fun of
him.
him.
Yeah, we made
We
fun
made
of him.
fun of him.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
So
was fun.
I did go down to the gym, and me and the guy have a good laugh about it every time he sees me now, and it's still kind of embarrassing to me because he brings it up every once in a while.
yeah, because he feels
You
like
know
he
what I
got
mean?
played.
like so I get to feel embarrassment at the gym every once in a while because of my character defect of lying.
But that's the beauty of the program because
Right?
it stuck with you and it's stuck in your subconscious where you're like you knew it wasn't right. So like lying used to be left like no
Oh,
problem.
bro, I would have
It was, like,
gone
easy
on and on
breezy,
about it,
totally.
and I
You
would've
would've
been-
elaborated.
I would have high fived with
Yeah.
you guys later. Fool thinks I work
Yeah.
for the CIA. You know,
Got him. But no, but the program
Anyway.
teaches you to like, you have to all of a sudden, put your tail between your legs and say, "I'm sorry."
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Amazing. How are you? Oh no.
I'm actually doing really good.
I thought he
Vaughn,
froze.
addict, alcoholic. Last time, Damon, thank you so much for coming on and hitting us with such raw vulnerability.
Thank you.
That was so powerful, man. I need to hear that shit every single day. Last time I came on here, told y'all that I relapsed and gotten suicidal. Happy to say I'm 11 days sober today.
That a
I'm not
boy?
suicidal.
Yeah.
That a boy.
I start every single morning with this book, this Bible, every single morning.
That a
I
boy.
read it. And then 7 other recovery books that I currently have all over my bed. But that, your motives, the guilt, I'm struggling with that so bad right now. Learning to let shit go.
Mhm.
It's been over 10 years since I've killed someone. It's been over 10 years since I've caused a really, really bad accident. But I still have all this guilt. I still have all this shit from when I went into prison when I was 18. All this stuff that stays with me that I pushed down for so long with drugs and alcohol that I thought, oh, okay, this is, I've handled it. I've successfully dealt with it. Now that I'm sober, I'm realizing every time I've gotten sober before, it was for someone else. It was because a PO was telling me I need to, or else they're not going to discharge my number. It was the ex-wife saying, hey, you need to get your shit together. You got to leave. It was one of the random girlfriends that was like, you should be sober. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll try that. But now that I'm actually sober because I want to stay alive, I have no clue how to live life. I have no clue how to be me. I still don't even know who I am now that I'm actually in it for me. But I'm just so grateful that I found y'all and that you guys have this meeting. And just shout out to everyone in the chat that reached out to me last meeting. And shout out Joe B. He's been fucking hitting me up every day, checking in on me. Just the love and support that I've gotten. I have a family with you guys. And for the first time, I actually am excited to invest in me. And that's because of you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you to everyone that comes on and shares, whether it's the guest speaker or someone in the chat, like that raw vulnerability. Like, I'm not alone. And I love all you guys, and you guys are awesome. And that's all I got.
We love you, Vaughn. We're so happy you're here.
Thanks, man.
And you're right. No one is alone. We're in this, all of us together.
In-person Recover Out Loud, April 18th.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Be
going,
there,
we're
be
going,
square,
we're
Vaughn
going,
Vaughn.
we're going
You're
Hawaiian style. We got the Hawaiians taking over. All right, K Slayer. I mean, CSC program.
All right. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you guys for having us on here.
Of course. Thank you for joining.
First of all, we are over here at the Rutherford County Correctional Work Center. So we're all in here sober, each one on different paths.
Amazing.
But Damien, thank you for sharing your story. And Vaughn, congratulations on your sobriety. You guys are an inspiration and a hope for us. We show up and just watch your podcasts, even the reruns, or, whenever Miss Kay Salyer, she signs us up for stuff sometimes. And I'm just thankful that she signed me up to see your guys' podcast. You're an inspiration and a light, all three of you. So I'm just happy to be here. And I don't really think it matters on being sober. I've been down now for years, and I still feel like I don't know myself without all that stuff. So I think it just it varies, but I know as long as you stay consistent and persistent and stay involved in the community and in meetings like this, it does help. I can say that.
No.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
And I definitely said her name wrong. I was reading that K Slayer, but it's K Salyer. K Salyer. So thank you, K Salyer, for allowing the girls to participate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Joe B.
Joe B.
Joe BZ.
Yo, yo, yo.
My brother.
What up? What's going on? Joe, I'm an alcoholic. Hello, everybody.
Joe.
Real quick, I'll talk to Vaughn. Bro, I feel you. You're never going to be able to get that life back that you took. But one thing you could do is save a life. Maybe 2 or 3. Get sober. Help somebody else. That guilt will go away. And you said you didn't know who you are. It's a good thing. Because our design, I had the same problem. Didn't last too long. Everything collapsed. Everything collapsed. So I had to rebuild my life, right? Who would I call to rebuild my life? A carpenter. Who's the most famous carpenter in the history of the world?
Speak on it,
Jesus
Joe.
Christ.
Speak on it, Joe.
Jesus Christ, So I had to let go of everything, man. I had to do some work. I would drive 2 hours to get high. I can't read the Bible. I can't go to a meeting. I can't call a newcomer. Of course I could. Do I want to? Now I do. I love Jesus. He's my boy. When something bad happens, I go to him first. Something good happens, I go to him first before anybody else. He reminds me, he's like the friend you hang out with because you want to sleep with the mother, but then you really like the friend. So you don't make, you don't make moves on the mom because he's one of your best friends. And to the guy that was speaking, bro, I like that you're aware of your situation right now and you know what needs to be done. You're not lying to yourself. You know about that 7-step. I do one every day because I'm always doing something that I shouldn't be doing, and it's not that bad, but it's something I want to work on. So I don't feel guilt. It's amazing how I feel guilt from a little white lie or a little impulsiveness. That's what I'm working on now, impulsiveness. The fear's gone. Jesus got rid of that for me. I don't lie. He got rid of that for me too. But I'm still a little impulsive, and I had to talk to my sponsor about that and do a 7-step. And it turned out that the bad thing about being impulsive is we don't allow our brains time to develop consequential thinking, right? We're just impulsive and then, damn, this is what happened. So I go to God now before, when I say Jesus, I'm scared of God, but Jesus is my boy, so I'm cool with him. But I go to him before everything. Specifically for impulsiveness right now. That's my 7-step, really my 6th. I try not to be impulsive to avoid the 7-step, but I go to him before I go see my mom. I go to him before I go to the post office. I go to him before I go to physical therapy. And I say, please help me not be impulsive. I say that out loud. And it's just a reminder of not to be impulsive. It's amazing how this whole thing works, right? It's really simple if we get out of our own way. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm loving life right now, man. It's nuts.
I love it.
It is, Nat. It's just,
Oh, I know.
and I couldn't tell you step by step how I did it from day one. I was a mess. I just really trusted in what everyone told me. I prayed, even in the words that I don't understand. I modified it a little bit. I just speak to him like he's my boy. It's funny. I wake up and I pray, but then I gotta pee, and so I go pee while I'm praying, and then I feel guilty for peeing while I'm praying. So I say, God, forgive me for peeing while I'm praying, like it's nuts, right? But he's good. And then there's 20 seconds of awkward silence, and then I just go about my day. So keep trying. Keep trying. Keep going to God. He'll answer your prayers. Maybe not instantly, but he'll answer your prayers. Thanks, guys.
I love it, Joe. Seek and you shall find. I love it. Julian. Julian?
Yo.
There you are. There he
What's up,
is.
Al?
There he
Yeah.
is. He's not you're not in bed. Chad,
Nah,
you're not
I'm
watching.
up.
He's not in bed.
I'm up. My name's Julian. I'm a recovering heroin addict and recovering alcoholic. Just want to thank you for your share, man. It was a great share. I can relate to when you said how you talk yourself out of situations. There's been plenty of times I talk myself out of situations and push it off to the next day, and then keep pushing it off until it eventually disappears. I struggle. I struggle with people like authority, like people telling me what to do. And I had a situation at work the other day, and it was a foreman, and he was like, he just came off to me the wrong way, and I jumped out my truck ready to fight, he just took me there, and but I realized that was the right thing to do. And I drive a cement truck for a living as well. So when I went and washed my truck out, I came back and I apologized to him, and because it just I thought that was the best thing to do. You know what I'm saying? To apologize, even though he was in the wrong. But I shouldn't have jumped out the truck anyway. But I just went back and apologized to him, But I struggle a lot with that. And I talk myself out of a lot of situations, right? And a lot, man, to the point where, I wouldn't even be here today if I didn't talk myself out of them situations. So another thing is jail saved me as well, Chad, man. Jail saved me. My last bit, I did 8.5 years. And what saved me was I found a purpose. I found my why, and my why is my daughter, And once you have that purpose, like once you got a purpose in your life, it keeps you on that straight path. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, trials and tribulations that come through, but your purpose will pull you through. It's your rod and staff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing, Galatians 6:9, right? He said, and let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose our heart. So everybody out there, man, y'all just keep going, man. Take it one day at a time. I'm out.
That's right.
Awesome. Nice
Love that.
hearing from you.
Yeah, so good to hear from you. It's
Julian.
been a minute, Julian.
Yeah, good stuff. Dropping some bombs on us.
Chuckity Chuck.
Is that Chuck Zamzow?
Yes, it is.
Is that
I
the?
didn't recognize him.
Is
What?
that the Chuck
Chuck?
Zamzow?
I think his camera's positioned differently today.
Oh my God.
Just a little differently. He's looking just a little different to me.
He's up higher.
Yeah, it's positioned just a little. Yeah. Hi, Chuck. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Man, a lot of good things said tonight. I'm going to keep it short. The one thing that stuck out to me is that when taking the alcohol away and taking other things away, I'm left with myself, and I got to start working on that mind. That's something I kind of took away from tonight. But at least once a day, I got to read that 3rd, 7th, and 11th step prayer. Those are key for me on a daily basis. I know my sponsor has lately been getting on me about that because sometimes I get a little lazy and don't like to read. Even though I've been in this program for quite a while, but I'm human too, and I'm going to make mistakes. And I notice when that pink cloud goes away, I'm left for myself. So I've been doubling up on meetings lately and taking care of what's going on mentally. Because I kind of went through a little spat there for a bit, thinking I have no idea why. And I'm being real. There's sometimes my head goes into places where it shouldn't. So it still leads to me that I still got work to do. And I'm doing it. God speaks to me through other people, and I definitely listen tonight on what's going on. And grateful for everybody being here, and that's all I got.
Thanks, Chuck. We love you, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, awkward silence. I'm gonna say a few things. This generational trauma and PTSD is real, and it's in a lot of us, but especially Native Americans, because you're dealing in a closed, confined area like a reservation. People are living kind of on top. It's different. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a different life, and just really happy for you, man. You're breaking a cycle that goes back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just not 1 or 2. It's a minute.
Yeah.
And you're breaking that. And I just want to say every morning.
Oh, I love
Every
that.
day he sends me something and I appreciate it. And I feel guilty if I don't read it. And sometimes I don't respond. But every day he shouts me out. Every bloody morning I wake up to him.
It's funny because the
Every
variety
day.
keeps popping up, like for myself, just to dabble in it because I want to learn more about just because of the similarities there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm like intrigued by it to hit a meeting and kind of dive in.
Well, he'll hook us up. We'll do a swipe. We'll go to the lodge, do the whole thing.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than welcome. Yeah.
I've sweat before.
I've never swept before.
Yeah,
I sweat.
I wanna
I
go.
sweat before.
At the lodge?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Maybe by yourself.
Go.
No, I did the
shower
full. I did the
sweating
full.
I
The
wanna
full
do it.
deal. It was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? There's this woman, man. This woman's probably 60, pushing 60. We were in a talking circle, and her son is, the disease is alive and well with him, And so she was sharing about her son, but she wasn't crying or like, she was talking about, she was letting it out.
Yeah.
But she wasn't crying, emotional, like, my son. But then she started sharing about how, she was sharing about the chaos, right? And then she shared about, she goes, well, I just can't wait till next week because next week I'm going home. And what she meant was she's going on her, she's doing a ceremony. She's going on the mountain for 4 days, 4 nights, no food, no water, just her, the creator, her higher power, her medicine, on a mountain. This woman, this is her 10th year doing it, pushing 60, I think. And when she was sharing about that, then she started breaking down. And I learned from that, like that's somebody's peace right there, you know. And when we went, I went with him. We went to walk her up the mountain, and it was so beautiful because there was another woman there, and she was going on the mountain for her first time, and her son was going with her. The son was 15 years old, and he was going to go on do like one day, one night with her, and I've been like sitting on that for a long time, like ever since then. Like wow, like that's just everyone's walk's different.
For sure.
you know?
Yeah.
It's different, man. But yeah, like I told you guys last time, you guys are more than welcome to come. And
But I wasn't here
Yeah,
last
we
time.
need.
yeah,
I
you were
know.
here last time, yeah.
We need to do that. It'd be fun.
It's happening.
And
and it's been
I
popped
like
up
to
and
hit the
then
pipe because they pass around a pipe.
Yeah.
It's nicotine, right?
Tobacco. It's tobacco.
I mean tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like obsessed with nicotine right now, because I don't do it, and I want to do it really bad, and what because this is part of a spiritual experience, so I can actually hit the pipe.
Yeah, it depends.
Not if you
Well,
say
you
it like
stop
that.
saying
You
it
can't.
like
No,
that. That sounds
no, you can't
insane.
talk like that.
Like,
Huh?
what are you
You
doing?
can't say like
I
that.
It
can't
sounds
say it like
terrible.
that.
No.
No.
It's like
Isn't it hitting the pipe?
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
called,
but-
it's called chanupa.
Chanupa.
Please say that. That's way better than pipe. Like hitting the pipe is like, okay,
No,
we're
like-
Are you gonna twist it a little?
yeah.
No.
Roll it
no.
open. Roll it open.
No.
You know.
I'm very respectful in these
yeah,
situations,
yeah.
man. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
No, it's huge.
You know, it's funny. So when I go,
It's not a glass
when I
stick.
go to a certain lodges, some of them don't smoke.
Mm.
They don't.
Oh.
They don't smoke pipe. They don't. It just depends on where you're going.
Yeah.
But there's a teaching behind that, you know. And so, but what's funny about the nicotine thing is, whenever I go to my uncle's, in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, I can smoke, but it is ceremonial.
Yeah.
It is ceremonial, cultural, because you know, with tobacco, that's what we pray with. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
and, the smoke goes up to our higher power. But in my mind, in my addict brain, I'm like, oh, I get smoke cigarette.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I can just like get a little nicotine.
Yeah.
But if I can get the nicotine in a spiritual way, I'm hoping that I won't.
No, bro. I got 10 years off the nicotine. I will never take a hit off that.
You won't. I
No,
will. I will.
can't do it. I have
totally
no
will.
interest at all.
It's so bad though. The school that I go to work with the kids there, man, they're always getting caught with vapes.
Yeah.
nicotine
Right.
Vapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Vapes just
out.
like run the game.
man, yeah.
Should we turn on the cameras?
Yeah,
and
let's
go
turn
out?
on the cameras. I see a few on already, but let's get the rest of them on.
Thanks to the Nem House for tuning in.
And what
tonight.
happened? 35 people did not leave before the miracle happened. That's a big deal, because I think we only maxed out at about 40, 41 people.
We're low tonight.
So for 35 people to stay and participate in the one thing that we do that no other meeting in the
Oh,
world
gosh.
does. Right, guys? We
Yeah.
are the only meeting in the whole universe, I believe. That
Universe. You said it right.
Wait, but I thought you said that you don't lie.
Did you check?
Didn't you say you don't lie?
Galaxy.
You checked.
Galaxy.
Right? You,
I made the call to NASA.
yep. Shane checked.
Actually, I called Elon.
And
Okay,
it is
Louis, can you
it
just
is
play the
true.
music?
Are you the only one that danced out? God, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the
See you
difference.
guys later.
Amen.
Thank you for your lead.
Thank you guys. Thank you.